My name is Karen Boyd. I'm the city's communications director. I want to thank you for coming to hear this very important announcement about the appointment of an independent investigator to evaluate use of force and police response to the Occupy Oakland events over the last few months. I'll start with introducing Mayor Quan. Then we'll hear from City Administrator Deanna Santana. Chief Howard Jordan will make a few remarks from the police department. And then we'll hear from Thomas Frazier, Chief Frazier, who's going to be leading the team that's conducting the independent investigation. We'll take some questions after that. Thanks much.
Good morning. Well, we've been waiting for this announcement for quite a while. This has been a very tough few weeks for the city of Oakland. There's been dozens of incidents with demonstrators and police in conflict. And for the most part, the police have been professional, and for the most part, demonstrators have been nonviolent. However, there have been exceptions in both cases. When I came back from Washington that night and turned on my cell phone and my daughter said, "Stop the tear gas," I was thinking, what happened? And it was clear we knew from the beginning that we'd have to have an independent look at what happened, both on October 25th and some of the aftermath incidents on November 2nd. And we've been working very hard to come up with a team that would be independent. During that time, we have followed our own internal investigations. We have made some findings. There have been some discipline matters, and we won't go into the details, but we have been trying to change, I think, the culture and the way we deal with demonstrations and response, and I think over the weeks that has improved. But what we're doing today is naming that independent investigator. As mayor and the chief executive of the city, it's my responsibility to ensure that there's constitutional policing, not just only in our day-to-day activities, but also in these unusual incidents when we have thousands of protesters. We hope that this will add transparency to the process. We still will also have a commission looking at mutual aid policies, but today we're really looking at what happened, how we can improve what happened, and during the demonstrations with Occupy Oakland, and we hope that this will add a public and transparent report so that the people of the city and the people involved in the protests can feel that they had a fair and independent look at what happened. And I'm very proud that we have been able to get someone who has had a distinguished career, has been able to do a lot of independent monitoring. Ms. Santana, as the city administrator, has worked really hard to negotiate and pull together a team, and I think it's her turn.
Thank you. Good morning. Over the past months, the city has been challenged with complex situations related to Occupy Oakland. We are fortunate that the Oakland Police Department is committed to maintaining peace and continuous learning. The initiation of an independent investigation demonstrates that we have nothing to hide and that we are eager to learn. Today, as the mayor already announced, we are pleased to announce the appointment of Tom Frazier as the independent investigator. Tom Frazier is a nationally recognized expert in law enforcement and has conducted similar reviews at a national level. He was deputy chief in the city of San Jose and served as a COPS grant director for the U.S. Department of Justice. He was a consent decree advisor to the cities of Los Angeles and Detroit. He is experienced in these types of reviews, and we are delighted that a gentleman of this caliber is here to assist us with this review. Chief Frazier has put a team together of the same caliber. He brings with him Deputy Chief Mike Hillman. He's retired from the Los Angeles Police Department. Deputy Chief Don Anders, also retired from the San Jose Police Department. Captain Richard Cashdaller, a U.S. Coast Guard and former Executive Director of Public Safety for the City of Mobile, Alabama. Their bios are available, and Tom is certainly here to answer any questions related to their qualifications. This investigation will focus on the use of force, compliance with OPD policy, use of force reporting, police tactics, mutual aid, including direction and deployment of mutual aid officers, mass arrest procedures, pre-operations planning, operation orders, complaint intake and investigations, and other relevant issues that surfaced during this investigation. As the city administrator, I am committed to leading an organization that acknowledges that when we do things right, and that equally acknowledges where we can do things better or take any corrective action. Appointing this third-party investigation is a vital step in maintaining trust between the Oakland Police Department and the community and demonstrates our commitment to transparency and accountability. I am confident that our professional police department and officers welcome this review. Thank you.
Good morning. In Oakland, we take use of force very seriously. Society has given us law enforcement personnel the right to carry weapons, and with that right, there's a significant responsibility to use training and tools properly and in accordance with laws and policy. According to our policies, every instance in which force is used against a citizen is documented, reviewed, and evaluated against city policy by Internal Affairs, overseen by the Office of the Inspector General. In addition, some complaints about police misconduct came through the Citizens Police Review Board, which also investigates complaints about police use of force. These practices are important to ensuring that the police are fair and accountable to the community. As Chief of Police, I take full responsibility for the actions of my officers. All allegations of misconduct and excessive force, use of force, are being thoroughly investigated by Internal Affairs and now external investigative sources. In Oakland, we have a history of using independent investigations in high-profile cases, which may include officer-involved shootings or other use of force, such as less lethal munitions used during the Occupy events. My responsibility is to ensure that the independent investigation is fair and an impartial process. If these investigations reveal wrongdoings on the part of our officers, I am committed to taking swift and fair disciplinary actions. I'm confident that a full airing of facts will be constructive for both the police department and the community we serve. I have pledged to be open and honest with all of our stakeholders. The Oakland Police Department will continue to place the highest value on policing in a manner that is both constitutional and ethical in its mission to provide a safe place to live, work, and play, free of crime and the fear of crime. Thank you.
Can I just have one more? I just want to add clarification. It was reported this morning in an article that we took this action without conferring with the City Council or with the monitor. And I just want to clear up for the record that the mayor, the chief, and I did sit down with the monitor to go through the process in our decision-making, and he is on board with our approach and supports this direction. So thank you.
Chief.
Great, thanks. Good morning, my name is Tom Frazier. I'd like to just take a minute to talk about my career and my team. I started with the San Jose Police Department in 1967, brief tour in Vietnam, back to San Jose. Left in 1994 to become the police commissioner of Baltimore, Maryland. Big East Coast Police Department, 3,100 officers, 700 non-sworn. Stayed in Baltimore for 6 years, went to DOJ in Washington to run the COPS program, the 100,000 officers on the street. When I left there, there's an association of big city police chiefs called Major City Chiefs, the 63 largest departments in the country. I was executive director of that association for 10 years, so my relationship to large city law enforcement from the time I was a young officer in San Jose through my time as a chief in 1994 up until now has been in big city law enforcement. I know who the good players are. Mike Hillman is, if not the best, one of the best tactical minds in the country. Has done reviews of everything from Columbine to the Mira building in Oklahoma City. An extremely experienced and qualified person on the tactical side. Don, and I might say that Mike, Don, and I have all run tactical units. We've all been tactical commanders. Don and I both worked and commanded internal affairs units, taught internal affairs for the state of California in their Peace Officer Standards and Training program. and are experienced in the complaint investigation and discipline side of the process that this will review. Dick Cashdollar was a Coast Guard captain in Mobile, did a great job there running the Caribbean region for the Coast Guard. The mayor appointed him Director of Public Safety, where both police and fire were direct reports to him. We have a terrific team. We are all experienced in this kind of work. These are no-nonsense guys, and our commitment is an honest and fair and straightforward investigation. We anticipate this will take 90 days. It may take a bit longer than that, but we hope to have a report out within that frame of time. Thank you for your attention, Madam Mayor.
Just take questions.
Thank you. So we'll take some questions now. If you could please state your name and your affiliation, I'd appreciate it.
Jen Ward with Oakland Local. I'm wondering why there weren't any non-law enforcement connected folks who are going to be part of the channel. Was that considered at all?
It's mostly the legal access, but I would let the investigator answer.
One of the things that I think may well add to our team is a civil rights attorney. And I haven't really gotten into, I was very interested to read the reporting yesterday in terms of the responsibilities of mutual aid when one agency comes to help another and they have different rules and who has to obey whose rules and who can straighten that out. It's a very complicated kind of a question. I suspect that we will engage counsel to work with us on that.
So in other words, do you anticipate the investigative team being larger at some point?
That's what I suspect. We'll file document requests. We haven't begun yet, so we'll file the document requests, read all the things that we need to read that are internal, review the reporting, review the videos, all the things that we need to do to get ourselves up to speed, and then make that decision. But I would be surprised if we don't add someone.
Jody Hernandez with NBC Bay Area. Can you describe what will go into this investigation, what it will entail? I mean, looking at videos, interviewing people. I mean, give us a snapshot of what will happen.
I think all the above. The first thing we're going to have to do is have a thorough understanding. There's a lot of policy involved here. Some of it goes back to 1993. So you've got policy coming from that. You've got consent decree and NSA and operational orders, both for the event itself, operational orders of how individual units work, what are the policies that Internal Affairs runs by, and what are the things that they are supposed to do. Until we have, I know how San Jose did it, Mike knows how LA did it, but we have to learn how Oakland does it. And then that's our benchmark to measure compliance against. So we have to understand that. Then we're going to have to interview those who were involved and find out what they had to say and see if that comports with video and use of force reporting, which is nearly completed as I understand it, but I'm not even certain about that. So we have a lot of homework to do to get ourselves, I think, thoroughly grounded in the factual situation. But all the things you mentioned those are all part of what will be done.
Jeff Shuttleworth at Bay City News. Can you clarify, will you just be looking at the actions of Oakland police officers, or will you also be looking at the actions of other officers who assisted Oakland police during this?
It's hard to tell. I mean, mutual aid is clearly an issue here. There are a lot of other departments here. I at this point don't know who did what and who was assigned where and those kinds of things. But if that is necessary, we would do that, of course, with the permission of those departments.
I'm Craig Devereaux with Channel 2. I wanted to ask the mayor, you mentioned that you'd already made some findings. Can you tell us what those were?
I'll let the chief answer that.
Okay.
Okay, because this is a personnel matter, I'm prohibited from discussing discipline or personnel findings involved in this investigation.
What about, because I know in 2003 we had that protest at the court, and then there's some regulations that came out of that. Can you tell us that if any of those use of force procedures were violated in this latest I mean, if somebody shot a beanbag, which isn't supposed to be done, can you tell me if that happened?
We haven't gotten to that point yet. That's what the investigation is doing.
Jeff Shuttle again, for the city administrator, they were handing out the materials while you went over the list of what the investigation we're looking at. It's what, use of force, so what all the activities, what all, what are these?
Well, first let me say this is a full-range investigation, everything from officers out in the field to the chief of police's actions during the event. Let me go through the bullets, though. Use of force, compliance with OPD policy, use of force reporting, police tactics, mutual aid, mass arrest procedures, pre-operations planning, operations orders, complaint intake and investigation, and any other relevant issues that surface.
How much is this investigation going to cost? Have you put a price tag on it?
So this will be a multi-phased investigation. We're starting with the October 24th, 25th events. I'm doing this under my contract authority, which is $100,000.
Doug Sondman, KCBS. Chief Frazier, I was wondering if I could ask you, would you anticipate, are you just going to look at what people did and whether they did things wrong, or would you anticipate making recommendations or potentially changing policies and procedures? Or I know you're just getting started, but
I think the real value, the value is accountability, number one. So if there are things that went wrong, that we find those out, and but that is I think a bit more internal OPD. I think our real value is take mutual aid, for instance, where the question is, if someone else comes in, and they have their policies, do they come in and operate under their policies or OPD policies? It's a complicated question. I do not yet know the answer to that, and I think I'm not sure anyone else does. That's the kind of thing that would be a very valuable recommendation, and it could be the Association of Mayors or Managers or California Police Chiefs Association. There are a number of ways to go to determine what the right course is. But I would very much anticipate those kinds of recommendations coming out of this investigation.
And did you pick the other team members? Were you picked and then you picked the others?
Yes, I did.
Two more questions.
Yeah, I'm curious with the, John Osborne, Oakland North. I was curious with the issues involving like so many law enforcement agencies. If it is found that there perhaps was some actions taken by outside agencies that might have been suspect, and those agencies are unwilling to do their own investigation, is there, would there be recommendations set to say that district attorney for the county to conduct their own independent investigation if agencies are unwilling?
That's way ahead of where we are. I couldn't. There's too much what if there. I mean, it would be based on a very specific factual situation, and I just can't answer that.
Oh, I'm sorry, Jess.
When the 90 days is up and the investigation is over, and you've turned in your findings, what happens from there? What will happen?
It's hard for me to say because I don't know what the findings will be, and I don't know what the recommendations will be. But I think I would probably defer that one to either the city administrator or the mayor.
So this report will be a public document, so the public will have access to reviewing it and understanding the recommendations and findings made. I will sit down with the chief and we'll go through it in terms of developing any corrective action and acknowledging what we've done right and where we need to learn from. And we'll report that out also. I envision that something this public would need to also go through the Public Safety Committee and through the City Council.
That's actually what I was going to add. We're going to see if we need to change some policies, if we get good recommendations on how to change mutual aid. It all depends on what comes out. Obviously, there could be disciplinary actions, but the main thing is, I want to stress, is that we decided from the beginning that we wanted an outside look. We think that the relationships between the community and the police and the city are improving, and that we're learning more and more more how to do community policing. And so we're not afraid of this investigation. We want it. We really want to make sure that we maintain that balance of protecting the civil rights of our citizens, but also providing effective community policing. So we want to thank you all for coming. I really want to thank the chief for leading this investigation, and hopefully 3 months from now we will have all learned much more.
That concludes our press conference. Thank you very much.